my hands, and I believe he will, for his merciful and protecting arm has ever been with me. I believe he will continue and ever protect me for as long as I serve him.
We know that the Pinkertons used spies, so it may have been the case that they had placed a spy on an adjacent farm. Jesse thinks that's probably the reason why there was an assault on James's family home.
Jesse reverts to his days as a bushwhacker and plans an ambush on the man who betrayed his family.
You're gonna teach them brutality.
This is for helping Pinkerton attack an old woman and a little boy.
After the raid on the farm, Pinkerton gives up on the James brothers. But Jesse's now uncertain about his safety in Missouri. He looks north for an easy target.
Jesse targets Minnesota for a very simple reason: overconfidence. He views northern banks as no match for the former bushwhackers, but not everyone in the gang agrees.
Jesse, need I remind you that Minnesota is in Union territory? Can you promise me we do it quiet and clean? All right, Frank, all right.
The gang heads 400 miles north, posing as cattle buyers. They begin casing towns with banks to rob.
Northfield is a prosperous town with the population and economic growth in Minnesota. It looked like a right berry to those guys.
With their long coats and impressive sidearms, the Missouri boys stand out among the Swedish immigrant farmers.
It's a local bank, which it bears noting were the kind of banks that Jesse James liked to hit. Most of the banks he robbed were filled with local people's money. But the gang arouses the suspicions of the townspeople.
Roll up your hands for we intend to rob this bank.
Open the safe and be damn quick about it.
The citizens of Northfield have a number among them who are some of the esteemed soldiers from the Civil War from the 1st Minnesota. Esteemed because of their battle record. So this soft target, well, it's not as soft as they thought.
I can't open that safe. It has a time lock.
The time lock safe is a safe that can only be opened at certain times of the day, regardless of whether you have the combination. Something that Jesse James has not experienced to that point.
See if one of them knows something.
I'm gonna check outside.
Go.
Come on,
Shoot something. For God's sakes, get out there. Jesse, come on.
come on, Jesse, now!
The bank robbery of Northfield was an absolute disaster. It was an ambush, but it was an ambush of their own making.
Come on, Jesse!
2 of Jesse's men are killed. The rest are lucky to escape the town's assault. But trailing behind them is the largest manhunt in the nation's history. A posse of nearly 1,000 men mounts up and heads west into Minnesota's Great Woods. Jesse's made a costly mistake, and his personal war may finally be over.
As my dear mother used to say, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Son of a...
Don't you cross that square with my watch.
For more revealing stories on these and other Western characters featured in Legends and Lies, purchase the companion book available at BillO'Reilly.com and bookstores nationwide.
So, what brings you to Jersey?
Well, Geico's the #1 auto insurer in New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut. So I just came by to say thanks.
#1, huh? That's great.
Here you go. A little token of appreciation.
Oh, that's great.
Now, I'd say you probably need a large.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Our new app will revolutionize car service and repair.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Is that anything like Cars.com's new feature called Service and Repair?
No, because with ours, you'll know the cost of labor and parts in your area. Anyone else?
Like Cars.com?
So you'll never pay more than you should.
Like Cars.com.
Excuse me 1 second.
She's totally right. I messed up. I'm sorry.
Cancel the IPO?
Research, price, find. Now get the right service without all the drama. Cars.com. All drive, no drama.
Some people hate free thinkers, but Kennedy doesn't really care what they think. To all you freedom haters out there, I got you on lock, all right? Catch Kennedy weeknights at 10 on Fox Business Network.
My mutant side lives at Contour, can record up to 6 shows at once. So we all get what we want, like sci-fi. Sci-fi. Romantic comedies? Anyone? For the many sides of you, there's Contour. I see.
Getting away with just 20.
Way, but the Youngers are apprehended. This is the ill-fated moment in the career where what had been a successful game has reached a dead end.
Frank and Jesse ride nearly 400 miles through the Dakota Territory, getting away with just $26.70, and eventually returning home to Missouri.
Frank, he ultimately thought, the way this is going, it's going to be a bullet or a noose for them. But Jesse, he was diehard.
Yeah, squareheads, right? Well, it's too bad those younger boys couldn't keep up. Yeah. We'll get them next time.
If we continue down this path, there will not be an exit.
Yeah, maybe for you. We'll see.
Frank is concerned with the attention Jesse's erratic behavior attracts in the papers. While a small-time Missouri criminal named Bob Ford is following Jesse's every move.
Bob Ford was this media-saturated fan. There's no better way to get close to the object of your admiration than to join his gang. And maybe in some way become a little bit like him. That's the picture of Bob Ford that we have today.
At this point, Jesse James is losing his edge. Historians have proven that he starts abusing laudanum, an opium-based painkiller that's still legal at the time. His abuse of laudanum only adds to his fanaticism and helps to trigger his downward spiral.
Afternoon, Reverend. Thirsty?
No, thank you, son.
I ain't your son. Now. Drink.
run to the end of his string. Jesse is carrying on a war that no longer has a place in this changed America. Now, these are not 19-year-old bushwhackers anymore.
Time is catching up with Jesse, and his personal war comes with a heavy price. Desperate to keep up the fight, Jesse recruits the Ford brothers, Charlie, a petty thief, and Bob, who idolizes Jesse.
All you need is one hand and a gun.
All you Yankees know the bitches can sound like dogs.
I need more whiskey. Need more whiskey?
No problem, Jesse.
We need a job, Jesse.
Yeah, those coaches coming up.
We could use Bob as a lookout.
We'll see. Watch what you say in front of him. He ain't one of us yet.
The people he surrounded himself with were no longer the professionals. These weren't the youngers. These were amateurs.
I've been hunted for 21 years. It was one long, inexorable, eternal vigil. I was tired of an outlaw's life.
Seeing Jesse's new and inexperienced crew, Frank parts ways with his brother. Jesse begins to sink into a dark mood. He wears a holster at all times, even while sleeping. He's unbalanced, paranoid, and more dangerous than ever.
Jesse James became delusional. He was likely to be experiencing symptoms of schizophrenia as a result of years of engaging in violence.
Jesse's anxious, but for good reason. He has a weakness within his inner circle, the Ford brothers.
At this point, the Ford brothers, they're living in the same house with Jesse, and they're agitated because they're scared.
We need to kill him, or he'll kill us for sure.
Young Bob Ford, what do you have for me?
I have access to kill Jesse James if you'd like.
In the late 19th century, it is common for governments to offer rewards for criminals. But Missouri Governor Thomas Crittenden, a former Union officer, goes much further. He offers Robert Ford $10,000 and a full pardon to kill Jesse James.
You have no more to talk about.
It's a government hit on a U.S. citizen, turning a loyal disciple into a hired assassin and a serial killer into a target.
Hat maker Vincent Brimble prospered in the town of Hat.
For a 10.
Insomnia.
Jesse James is haunted by his violent past. The effects of war, crime, and acts of terror tear away at his sanity. His paranoia casts a dark cloud over the Ford brothers, who, unknown to Jesse, have been plotting to kill him for a $10,000 reward.
Charlie and Bob are looking for an opportunity. Jesse's wife had made breakfast, and they see Jesse do something that he's never done before.
good, Jesse. Except for this simple son of a bitch right here.
Hell, Jesse.
While Bob Ford and his brother may have initially revered Jesse, when the opportunity came for them to get money, reputation, they took advantage of it.
Jesse! Kill him!
No, I didn't do it. Legend has painted Jesse James as a hero of the people. The truth is, he's a damaged child turned soldier and criminal, a violent sociopath with enough charisma to charm the media. He made his mark while he was alive, but in death, he becomes larger than life, an icon of the real West.
Dozens of photographs are taken of the body to prove it's the notorious outlaw. For millions of Americans, the legend of Jesse James has lived only in their imagination. Later that year, Frank James surrenders to Missouri authorities. He's quickly acquitted of his crimes by a pro-Confederate jury.
Bob and Charlie Ford never get their $10,000 bounty. They're forced to settle for a full pardon from the governor for murdering Jesse. 2 years later, Charlie turns the gun on himself, committing suicide. Bob Ford is murdered by a Jesse James admirer a decade later.
Over the years,